It really is a tale of two teams. The Toronto Maple Leafs are 2 wins away from moving to the 3rd round of the NHL playoffs. Meanwhile, the Toronto Raptors forced to watch the NBA playoffs on TV. Joining us for a state of the franchises, Sportsnet's Donnovan Bennett. Thank you so much for joining.
That sounds very official. State of the franchise. I should have dressed up a little bit more.
Very
should
good.
have a Windsor knot on or something. Thank you for having me.
Always enjoy having you on. Okay, let's start with the Leafs. Oh man, oh man, oh man. There's so much pressure. They are at home tonight. They could get the series lead tonight, but the last couple games, it got Leafs fans nervous. Are you nervous for the Leafs tonight?
I won't sing, but Anxiety, the song that is all over my TikTok, that would be the theme song, oddly enough, for both franchises that you mentioned, the Raptors and the Leafs, but certainly the Leafs in this situation, but not when you look at and listen to some of the quotes coming from the team. Coach Berube says, like, we're in a good spot. And quite frankly, if we reverse engineer it, and we had this conversation at the beginning of the season, we said the Leafs in the middle of May are going to have home ice against the defending Stanley Cup champs with 2 opportunities to theoretically win and see this out, and you had won both games at home to start the series, people would feel good about it. But the way things have played out and the residual history for Leafs Nations means that there's a little bit of panic. But the reports are that the plane ride coming back from Sunrise, Florida, it's pretty chill. You wouldn't have known if they had won or lost, so maybe this team is different after all.
Okay, so you're not hitting the panic button, but some fans are, at least when it comes to, say, Austin Matthews, who we have not seen him perform the way we know he can, at least when it comes to scoring. Is that a big piece of the puzzle, do you think? I know Berube has said, like, it's not just about him. It's not about the core 4. This is a team dynamic, but there is a lot of pressure on him to do a little more.
There is certainly a lot of pressure on him to do more. And for those fans who are hitting the panic button in relation to Austin Matthews, I'm just going to say, use Google and go back and look at the conversations we had about Austin Matthews at this time last couple years. And it was, you can't just be a goal scorer. You have to play the game in both ends. You have to do all the little things, especially if you want that C on your chest. Well, he's not just a goal scorer. He's doing all the things. He's being very defensively responsible. He's winning his fair share of faceoffs. So we can't criticize him for being one-dimensional all these other years at this time of year, and then now criticize him because the dimension that we really like is no longer that.
But Leafs fans do that.
Sure, all fans do that. I would say that the cause for concern is when you look at the miles per hour on his shots, down 10 miles per hour, which is significant, whether you are in a car or playing hockey. And so I wonder if there's an injury there. But I think it's not just about him. It's about the entire line, the first line not performing, that should have Leaf fans a little bit concerned.
Now let's shift on over to what's happening with the Raptors. We saw a bunch of the Raps at the Blue Jays game in person watching. You see them because they're not on the court. This season, in 2 words, 3 words, how would you define this season? We know the Raps are going to draft 9th overall, which to the chagrin of many. How do you encapsulate the season?
Research and development is what I would call this season. R&D, like a startup, right? Not every idea is going to hit, but you're really in it for the learnings. And I think this front office, and in some ways this fan base, learned, okay, who are the young pieces that we're willing to build around moving forward? Who are we willing to part with potentially in a trade or just to strengthen the roster? And I think the focus is Scotty Barnes, can he take a step, not just as a player, as a leader, and also who fits well with him, and how do we continue to build a team around him? Yes, the lottery balls falling in their favor would have been much better. They had the 7th spot. Some fans were like, you need to lose better, which is
lose more.
Antithetical, right? Ethical tanking, if you will. But the teams with the top 4 odds, who theoretically lost better, they all fell in the draft. In the Dallas Mavericks, a team who almost made the playoffs, got the number 1 overall pick. So it's not a sure thing. The good news is, though, they're drafting 9th, the same spot that has given Raptors fans DeMar DeRozan, future Hall of Famer, Tracy McGrady, current Hall of Famer, and Jakob Poeltl, who is in the Hall of Fame of Raptors fans' hearts and minds.
There it is.
So this team in this front office has shown the ability to get value in the draft. They're probably looking for a center. And after the top 4 picks, most of those teams are looking for guards and wings. So a great center could fall for them. All is not lost, but also I'm not sure if they end up using that pick. We could see it moved in a trade.
Okay, lot can happen between now and then. So much. It's never a boring day in the world of sports right now. That's for sure. Donnovan, Bennett, as always, appreciate your time. Thank you. Go Leafs, go.
Yeah, keep calm. Carry on.